this is Liz from Simple Simon & Company, and today I'm going to show you how to make the world's easiest pillowcase using just your serger. So really quick, let me show you what these pillowcases look like. So it's going to be a simple pillowcase where you've got the main fabric and just a cuff. So you're going to need about 1.25 yards of a main fabric, and then 10 inches from selvage edge to selvage edge of a coordinating fabric. So here's one example. I'm going to put it down over here. Here's another example. This one's for a boy. This is my 13-year-old son's pillowcase, actually. So another sample. Main fabric, coordinating piece. Again, 1.25 yards, 10 inches, selvage edge to selvage edge. And our last example, right here. Super easy, super quick. They stand up. I've got some over here on the rack that have been washed probably 50 times. They hold up, they wash well. Okay, let's get this done. We're gonna make this whole pillowcase in less than 10 minutes from start to finish. I promise they're the easiest pillowcases in the world to make. So, once you've got your fabric, you're going to need to cut it into your pieces. So, this guy, for your main fabric, you're gonna want to cut it into 2 pieces because you're gonna have a front and a back. So you're gonna cut 2 pieces from your main that are 26.5 inches long and 20.5 inches tall. So let's say that one more time. 26.5 this way and 20.5 this way. Now I'm going to hold this print up close. This is one from our fabric line. I love this one, but I wanted to use this one because it's a directional print. So when you cut your pillowcase, if you have a directional print, you're going to want to make sure that it's going the right direction. I want when my girls to lay down at night and they're sleeping on their pillow, that they can read what's going on their pillowcase. I don't want the words to run up and down. I want them to run, left to right, top to bottom. So there we go. So we've got them cut the right way. One more time. 20.5 tall, 26.5 long. 2 pieces, main fabric, easy. Now you're going to do 2 pieces of your cuff fabric. They're going to be 10 inches wide, and they're also going to be 20.5 long. So they're going to be the same amount as this side. So 20.5 by 10, 2 pieces. Now the next thing you're going to do is once you've got these 2 pieces that are cut for your cuff, you're going to need to go over to your ironing board and iron them. Now my ironing board's clear over here on the other side of the room, so I've already ironed those. So I'm going to move this piece over here to the side and bring over the 2 pieces that I've already ironed. So there was just the 10-inch strips. They were 10 inches by 20.5 inches. And I took those and I folded them in half, hot dog way, and then I put a nice crease in them. I ironed them. And I ironed them so it was wrong sides together. So my right sides are on the outside, and it's just folded in half and then ironed the long way, or hot dog way as my kids call it. So that's it. Now we're going to serge the sucker together, and literally it's going to take us about 3 more minutes. Okay, I'm going to take one of my main pieces of fabric, and I am going to decide how I want it to lay. So when my kids lay down, I want them to be able to read the words, and so I want my cuff to be on my end over here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to line up raw edge to raw edge. I'm going to turn this around maybe better so you can see it. Raw edge to raw edge. Remember that my cuff is 20.5 inches long and my pillow is 20.5 inches tall, so they fit together perfectly. I'm going to align those edges. My fold is down here. My raw edges are up here at the top, and all I'm going to do is serge this sucker from top to bottom. So I'm going to stick this in my serger. I'm going to realign it a little better since I've been whipping it around in front of the camera. Realign it. I'm going to stick it inside my serger and get going. Now, a lot of people like to pin. That's terrific. Pinning keeps everything great and it keeps it in place. I never pin, so if you've watched any of my videos before, just know I don't pin. That's a bad habit. It's my habit. I especially never pin when I'm using a serger, because if you've ever run over a pin with your serger, dude, it's freaky. So I never pin when I serge. I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm just saying I don't. Okay, so I've got my fabrics. I'm putting them right here in my serger. And I'm not really going to take off a lot. I'm just going to kind of skiff this side. So because I haven't pinned, as I work my way down, I just realign my fabric. Run it through to make sure I'm realigning, keeping everything nice and straight and tight where I want it. Barely taking off, just a little skiff of fabric as I serge. And off the edge. Now, if you have to use a serger a lot, you want to leave a tail on your machine. So I've left like a little tail here on my machine. I don't snip it right off there at the needle because you don't want your serger to come unthreaded. And voila, I've got the top, the cuff to the main part. Now I'm going to just hold this up so you can kind of see. So as I serged, I just barely took off any. I'll hold it up really close. I barely took off any. So I just kind of took a skiff off and then serged it up. I'll show you what it looks from the back side. Bam, there you go. Okay, let's do the other guy. Super quick. I want my pillowcase to lay like this. I'm aligning raw edge to raw edge, just like I did a minute ago, raw edge to raw edge. And I'm just gonna feed it right through my machine right now. Just realigning as I go to make sure it's nice and straight and that everything's getting sewn through how I want it to. I love my serger. All right. Remembering to leave a little tail here. Okay. Front's done. Back's done. Now all we have to do is put the front together with the back, which is wicked easy. So I've got my front and my back. I'm going to put right sides together. And I'm just going to line them up with my right sides together. See this fold that we made earlier? That makes a perfect, nice finished edge to your pillowcase. So the fold is just an easy way to give yourself a beautiful finish on the edge of your pillowcase. Right sides are together. Bam, bam. The wrong sides are sticking out. I'm going to start with the cuff side, and I am going to serge all the way from the top of the cuff all the way down here to the end of that side. So I'm going to line it up super nice. The other thing I like to do is I like to line my cuffs up, especially as I'm feeding it through. If you're a pinner, this is a part that I would definitely pin because I like the cuff to make like a nice even band all the way around and not have it shift as I'm sewing. Okay, so I'm going to line these guys up. I'm going to feed it right through my serger right this second. In they go. I always start, like I said, with the cuff side first and work towards the end of the pillow. So I start with the outside edge and work to the bottom. All right. Making sure I've got it lined up. There we go. Again, I'm just taking off a little skiff of fabric. I'm not taking a huge bite out of it. I'm just kind of running it along the edge of my machine. Just realigning. And remembering to leave a tail. Okay, one edge is all the way finished, serged. So obviously I've got one side done. Now I'm going to do the next. All the way through from top to bottom. Same thing, going to start with the cuff side, the outside edge, where I'm going to put my pillow in. I'm going to work all the way down to the bottom. So here we go. Slide that guy in there. Now you know if you've worked with a serger before, you don't have to do things like back stitch. You just put your project in and go to town. make sure, oh, my corners are perfection down here. All the way to the end. Leaving a tail, chopping it off. Okay, perfect. So now we've got the top is connected to the bottom, but right now it's a tunnel. It's a tube. I can stick my arm through it, so we've got to serge up this end so it's a pillowcase so we can shove our pillow in and it stays. So all we're going to do is this bottom side, not the cuff side, the bottom side. We're going to serge from one end, zip all the way down to the other. Same thing, sticking it in, barely taking any fabric off. Almost done. One more second. Alright. And off the edge. Now, technically we can be done. Okay, so we've serged up all four sides. We can turn it inside out and bam, we've got a pillowcase. I love to use a serger because it gives you this nice clean edge. It's not going to fray. You can wash it a billion times and it's still going to look great. But what I like to do is I like to kind of stay stitch these edges right here where I've got tails. Now there's wicked cool ways that ladies know how to do where they flip and zip and rip and do all this stuff with inside their serger to kind of tack that end of your strings down. I've tried it before and I am miserable at it. If you want to do that, there are a million tutorials how to do it. I just can't ever make mine look nice. So what I do is once I get to this point right here, I like to take this, where my corners are, I like to take over to my sewing machine and I just go back and forth 5 or 6 stitches up and then back stitch, and it just kind of holds that, locks those stitches in place right here. So I would do it on this corner and I would do it on this corner. You're going to do it 4 times and you're going to come up here to the top. I would do it right here and chop it, and I would do it right here, you know, just 5 or 6 little stitches, just right along, right in your serger stitches, 5 up, 5 back, and then cut this thread right here. Then I'd call it done. Now this guy that we've made in about 10 minutes, it would be faster if I didn't talk so much. I'm going to turn it inside out. And bam, pillowcase is finished. All done. Now if you like the pillowcases and the fabric that we've used, over on our shop over at simplesimonandco.com, we've got pillowcase kits. And then other questions that we get is we often get asked what machines we're using. Today I used my Baby Lock Evolution serger. It's fantastic. I love it. It makes it threading so much easier. I kind of love my serger. All right, so less than 10 minutes, we've got a pillowcase. All right, thanks for joining us. We hope you watch some of our other tutorials. Talk to you later. Bye.